Welcome to another virtual adult improv show with the LA Connection players. Today it's the 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time team. So if you want to follow this team, you can go to our YouTube channel, LAC Comedy on YouTube, click on playlist, and you can find all the 5 p.m. teams shows over the past year since back to last December. And they have shows beyond that. So if you just go back and see all our videos, you can go back and see all their shows. And some of these guys have been with me over a year. It's fantastic. A great cast today. I'm Ken Scove, the founder and owner of the LA Connection, and let's introduce our cast tonight. Starting with Chris. It's his second show.
Hello. It's nice to see everybody.
All right. And Shelly.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Alex.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Andrea.
Ciao. Thanks for coming.
James, who you can also see on our Tuesday 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time teams.
Hey, thanks for tuning in.
And Maddie.
Hi, thanks for watching.
As you can see, she used to play with the Beatles. You see that behind her. She was actually, she taught Ringo how to play drums. Okay, well, start talking about weird things. We have a talk show here coming up called Nature's Oddities. And I have with me 6 people who have some very strange, odd talents and really abilities. So let's bring them all up on screen right now. And let's start off with Maddie. Maddie, so you can swim underwater for as long as you'd like.
I can. I was born with gills. They are hidden beneath my neck here. They come out when it's raining. And during flood season, it's been really, really helpful.
What would be to say the longest time you've actually been underwater?
Well, I was born there, raised underwater. In the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, no, for some time, actually, for most of my youth, I spent underwater. I'm really well acquainted with the algae and the plankton in particular. They're a very open and welcoming community.
But we want to let everybody know you're not a mermaid because you have regular legs and you could actually get out, walk out of the water, and you can breathe normally as well. So let's say you're with somebody and somebody falls overboard and you go down and get them and you're down there for longer than normal. Do people say anything to you? I mean, do you tell people about your talent?
It's something that I don't really like to brag about. People a lot of times don't really understand the difference between merperson and mermaid. And I'd rather just not talk about it. It's a little sensitive. But people are, mostly welcoming and open to discussing it.
Now, you once swam across the entire Lake Tahoe underwater, and I know that was pretty amazing. What happened when you got to the other side? Because something very different happened when you swam all the way across. Who was waiting for you?
It's funny. My father, who I had never met before, was waiting there for me.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yes, his name is King Trident. He is both merman and mermaid and merperson. And so he had emerged from the water. He had been missing for thousands of years. So it was quite a moment. Lake Tahoe is very, very special reunion spot for the mer population.
Well, now, you said he's thousands of years, so then that means you could live that long as well?
Yes, I don't like to talk about my age. It's a very vulnerable subject for us, but yes, I am some 1,000 years old.
Wow. So now did he meet a regular woman, like a land woman back then? Because is that why you have legs and you're not a mermaid?
Oh,
Did he mate with a land woman?
He did, and that land woman is my mother, Clarice.
Wow.
She is, you could say, she's the queen of the land. Yeah, she's quite special. They had a burning love affair. She's since passed. COVID was difficult underwater. People don't talk about the aquatic population and how we were impacted. So, but I get off my soapbox.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, thank you, Maddie. You're quite a young lady, or an old lady in this case, I should say. Let's go over to James right now. James, you have sonic ears, so you can hear things up to 100 miles away. How do you tune into different sounds that you want to hear? Because otherwise, you're just hearing everything. Can you control? Say, I want to go to, let's say we're in Southern California right now. I'm going to go up to Santa Barbara, which is about 80 miles maybe up the road, and you can actually hear somebody in Santa Barbara if you tune in. How do you do this with your sonic ears?
Everything that you've just said is spot on correct. I have not only supersonic hearing, I have supersonic selective hearing. So I get to decide with how far away within that range I want to hear things, and exactly who, what, when, where. I've got really solid a linkage between that and my hearing and my mind, which allows me to really zero in, accurate to within half a mile to say 6 inches.
Wow,
that kind
amazing.
of range. Yeah.
I also understand that you can separate your right and left ear, so you could hear something with your left ear and something different with your right ear. So let's say you wanted to go 100 miles with one ear, and the next one you just want to hear what's going on in the next room. You can do that.
Yes, bi-hearage. That is the correct technical term for what you are describing. I can also even, and in my younger days, I did this a little bit more often because it's quite a bit painful. I would actually remove one of my ears from my head, and I would be able to put it in a certain area where I could hear one thing, and then I could walk somewhere else and also listen to that at the same time. But it gets painful as I get a little bit older and go through the aging process. So I tend to not choose to do that so often.
So you have detachable ears?
Yes, this is correct.
Unbelievable. Now, have you ever done any undercover work with the military or the CIA, FBI?
I'm not at liberty to discuss such operations, but yeah. Totally.
And it doesn't make any difference if there's a wall or curtains or even soundproof rooms. You can actually hear into them, right through the wall.
I can hear through them, inside and to the outside too, even with soundproof glass. I can hear what's going on inside the soundproof glass.
Unbelievable.
Really interesting.
I can see. Well, thank you, James, for letting us in on your sonic ears. I'm going to move over now to Andrea.
You're welcome.
Andrea, it's unbelievable. But you can actually fly.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
I can.
Tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah. I bet, I thought you never asked. So it started on my first date. I was only 14 and I was dating this beautiful girl. And I don't know what happened. I was super excited, a little bit horny. And I started, like flying. Sorry, it's the memory. Sorry. It's, I still can't control very well. And wow, she was shocked. And I was shocked too. And but then it didn't happen for a couple of days. And then we met again. And again, I was very excited and a little bit horny. And I flew again. So I started to, connect the dots. And now I know, I have like my, I use my porn magazines. Or sometimes, I have like porn videos on my phone. And so I switch between jokes or some, good news and a little porn, and I can fly as long as I want.
Okay, so you're saying you have to be stimulated sexually to be able to fly.
Yeah, of course. I cannot just fly just like that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah, no one could. That's, it doesn't make any sense.
That you pulled some pretty interesting stunts with some of the women because you're into a little bit of danger too. I read on your profile that you actually pushed a woman off a cliff and then flew in and caught her, and that got you both even hornier.
That was so exciting. Actually, she called 911 after, so it's. I mean, she didn't understand. Like, I mean, probably she's not the right. We are not like good matches. No, because she doesn't like adventure. But I mean, in the moment, it was very, very exciting because I mean, it's something cool. Like, I love to brag about this thing that I can fly, and
it's amazing you can fly, but you can't get your video, your screen. There, now you're moving again. That was so weird. Is that you can fly, but you can't even unfreeze yourself. I'm beginning to wonder, maybe you froze yourself and you flew somewhere and I didn't see it. Were you trying to play some sort of trick on me?
No, it's just sometimes, I have the router, and I have a router on the ceiling, and sometimes, I bump into the router, but it's, sorry, I mean, it's a little accident.
I was getting a little worried that, I was getting you horny and you were going to start flying or something. So I'm glad that didn't happen. Because, I'm just hoping I'm not doing
actually,
that.
I am a little bit horny. Like, I try to stay horny a little bit, all day. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on from you because I don't want you getting horny with me. So let's move over to Alex right now, who is clairvoyant. Things happen before they're going to happen. So give us some examples of things you predicted before they happen, and that something in the past, so we know it did happen. Can you give us a couple examples?
Yeah, for sure. Being clairvoyant, it really is a gift. Some people say isn't that a curse, but no, I like to see it as a gift. I myself predicted COVID. I saw that it was going to come. Government didn't listen, but what are you going to do?
Wow.
Yeah, so disease, but it's also good things. I got a guy, I saw that he was going to fall off a bridge, into the ocean. So I was able to, I tackled him to the ground before he even walked up. So, it's a range of things.
Can you give us something that you think is going to happen maybe in the next week?
Yeah, one thing that I know, I don't think it, I know it for a fact that this is going to happen. So this is, let's see, today's Sunday. So on Tuesday night, aliens will actually make, and it's not going to be their first appearance. They've come several times before. They're actually going to be on top of the Empire State Building and are going to be interacting with government officials in New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you probably can't tell me the exact time and day because that would get you in trouble, but so that's going to be coming in this time. Okay. Do you see something happening in my future? Don't
in
talk
your
about my death,
future?
Maybe something positive. I don't want to think I'm
positive. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, something that I like to see as positive, I think you should see as positive too. Somebody is going to ask you for money, and then you're going to actually give them advice to, hey, ask the next guy behind me. He's driving a Ferrari. So, I think that's good for you. You don't get bothered and he gets money,
Right. So what you're saying to me is I need to go out and hang out in front of Ferraris.
Exactly.
So this guy will
Especially
only
if you
come to me
see
when
them
there's a
at
Ferrari.
light.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not something you can really plan for. It's just, because now that you know it, the future isn't really supposed to be told, but.
I'm going to go to a high-end restaurant, to a valet parking lot in Beverly Hills, and hopefully that will come true for me.
Yeah.
I'll be checking that out. Thank you so much, Alex. Okay, let's go over to Chris now. Chris, so you can walk through walls?
Oh, yes. I can walk through any wall. Metal walls, cement walls. I can walk through the walls at my job, the Climate Pledge Arena. That's why they keep me, because I can get through the warehouse faster.
Wow. Well, when did you first knew you had this power?
Well, started when I was 4.5. and my mother couldn't find me because I kept going through all the walls in different rooms, and then I'd call from a different room, and it was just freaking her out. I didn't know what I was doing. But finally, she saw me go through the wall. She freaked out because she doesn't have that power.
Wow. Now, have you worked at all with the government?
I have, but I can't talk about it.
Okay, okay. But we do see that you actually walked through the Great Wall of China.
I did. Not just through it,
That got you,
but
yeah.
like down the whole wall, into the whole wall.
Right, right. And
yeah.
that got you thrown into a Chinese prison, but then you were able to break out of the prison.
Yeah,
you just walked out. So they couldn't keep you anywhere, which is amazing. That is amazing. And then if you want to hide, I heard you have the ability, you can hide in walls and they don't know where you are.
Yeah, I stayed in the wall, but I have to have air every so often. I think it's like every 5 hours I have to come out for air. So eventually I got caught in the Great Wall, but yes, I can hide for a while in a wall.
Mm-hmm. Now, I understand you had some problems with your ex-wife when you hid in one of the walls.
Yeah, when I came out, I found her with somebody.
Mm-hmm. Did that freak the guy out when you walked out from the wall?
Oh, yeah. I didn't have to beat him. He had a heart attack.
I think if I saw, I was with a woman and I saw her ex walk out of a wall, I'd probably have a heart attack too.
I did the whole.
So you're a real trickster too. That's pretty good. You use your abilities. That's fantastic. All right, I'll move on to my last guest, Shelley. Now, Shelley, I understand, you have telescopic eyes that you can zone in up to 50 miles. You can go and get a close-up and go almost look up their nostrils.
Well, that's true. That's true. And it's handy, too, if I ever want to know, what's Putin having for breakfast? I can see that. I can see that from here because those are things that people want to know. So I'm here for the public.
Wow. Okay, so now can you separate your eyes the way that James could do with his ears? In other words, could one eye be looking at one thing and your other eye looking at another, or do you have to have both eyes looking at the same thing?
Well, I can kind of, cross them and kind of, really focus in on minutia. Once in a while, I'll kind of do the flounder thing where they're both on one side. Or, I do like to have them on either side of my head, and that's really good. I also have children, so, I can kind of swing them backwards and be able to see what they're doing. So there's no mischief in my house.
Wow. Give us one thing that you saw with your eyes that, might have been weird or scared you, or maybe you were able to do, save somebody or help somebody with this telescopic eyes.
I found a body one time, Kent. It was disturbing, but I could see that the crime had already occurred, but I could see that they were digging a hole. It was very far off. I mean, this was countries away, but this was a serial killer, and I saw him chop up the body and bury it in the ocean. It's disturbing. And I had nightmares for a long time.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to have those telescopic eyes. That's pretty powerful. Well, each and every one of you is just amazing. You are nature's oddities. No one would know that people existed like you guys. And I want to thank you all for coming on my show. And hopefully we'll see you all back again, maybe in a month or 2 months, and you can give us some more stories about your amazing powers that you all have. And this has been Nature's Oddities. Thank you. All right, we're moving on now to Judge Kent. So in Judge Kent, we're going to have Shelley. You'll be the plaintiff, so you can put that next to your name. Witness will be James. Maddie will be the defendant. And Andrea will be the defense witness. Okay. Welcome to Judge Kent. In this particular case, the plaintiff, Shelley, is suing the defendant, Maddie, who was supposed to watch her cat. Shelley went away for a long weekend getaway, let Maddie take care of her cat at her house sitting. And when she returned on Sunday night, the cat was missing. So let's find exactly what happened here. We'll start with the plaintiff, Shelley. First, your relationship to Maddie. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. I know you're in a soundproof booth, but we need to have you
so
unmuted
sorry.
for the record. Go ahead.
It's upsetting. Maddie was the funeral director at my hamster's funeral, and that was a rough time for me. But she was really there for me, and I felt like I could trust her. So that's how it came about that I would even think to have Maddie take care of my cat.
Okay, so you asked Maddie to take care of your cat because she helped with the funeral of your hamster. So that's how you guys know each other.
That's right.
How well would you say you know Maddie?
Well, she's also helped me out since then with the death of a few other pets, a deer, rabbit, tarantula, a gecko. She's talented in a number of ways. So since we've had so much time to interact, and she's been really a spiritual guide for me as well. So I take a lot of, she's very soothing. I take a lot of peace from her.
Okay. All right. So you let her stay in your house. Is that correct, to watch your cat?
That's correct. That's correct. Yes, I let her stay in the house.
And what instructions did you give her when you left about your cat?
Well, it was very simple. Obviously, it was the regular feed and water, play with a laser pointer, so the cat could, bounce around, roll a ball of yarn. But I was very specific that she should not bathe the cat because the cat can't swim.
Okay.
And I was very specific as well that, that she should not feed the cat after midnight. Because we didn't
And what
know what was
about
gonna
letting
happen.
the cat outdoors? Is it an indoor cat and does not go outdoors, or do you let the cat outdoors and the cat would come back on its own?
This is an indoor cat, indoor, outdoor once in a while, but typically indoors. She really likes to just kind of pat around the house. I have all kinds of the cat towers everywhere. So she can wander from room to room. There's so much to play with here. There's no need.
Okay, but you did mention that the cat has gone outdoors. Were you watching the cat, or did you let the cat out on its own?
I had the cat in a cat run, so it was very, very safe. Much like a dog run.
Enclosed area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, enclosed area. Got it. Okay, so Maddie, she asked you to watch your cat, and obviously you agreed. What exactly happened when she left and you were left with the cat?
Oh, well, it was quite a day. I had spent many hours healing lost pets of others who I know. And it's quite demanding. And Shelley had inquired about my time and asked me to take care of her cat, Mr. Whiskers, while she was away. And Mr. Whiskers and I had a great time with the laser pointer. Some might say too good of a time with the laser pointer. The laser pointer was something that Mr. Whiskers and I had enjoyed together for quite some time. But the James forgot the batteries to the laser pointer. It was one one simple task. I can't drive, you know. It was quite tragic.
All right. So how does this have to do with the cat missing?
So Mr. Whiskers darted across the street because he was so saddened by the loss of the laser pointer.
Okay, now how could he dart across the street unless there was a door open or there was a window open? So did you leave a door or window open when you knew this was an interior house cat only?
I was under the impression that he was both indoor and outdoor, though. Was that not correct?
Interesting. Not according to Shelley. I think I've got some good information here now, but let me bring in the plaintiff witness, James. James, you just heard Maddie say that you forgot to get batteries for the laser pointer. But first, I'd like to know, what is your relationship to Shelley?
Shelley is a very good friend of mine and has been a neighbor for the past 5 years. And I've been over at that house a few times for regular block parties and interactions. She also works with my sister. And yeah, we've known each other a good long time.
Why would Maddie say you forgot the batteries? You're just the neighbor. Why did Shelley say that?
I don't know why she would feel that this is my responsibility to get my neighbor batteries for a laser pointer. The prevailing theory that I have heard from other people is that Maddie is actually a sociopath who murders some of these animals that she helps lays to rest. So, I mean, just throwing that out there, you know, that's just what I've heard. I'm not certain about it.
Did you witness the cat running out of the house because the cat was upset about the laser pointer?
I might have heard a scurrying. I don't know, but I mean, do we really believe that this cat has this level of consciousness that it could say, hey, there's no laser pointers. That was my neighbor's responsibility, who I occasionally see at house parties. I better run across the street or run away from home, despite the fact that all that's outside is like this little enclosed area that we use for the cat to run around and get some exercise. So, I mean, unless this cat can like phase through walls like this guy I saw on a talk show earlier, I mean, I really don't know.
Has the cat ever sat in that chair behind you? That little tiny cat chair?
No, and I can tell you why. There's a very specific reason.
Why?
It's my chair. I don't let cats sit in my chair.
Okay, you have a small ass, but that's another
Yes,
story.
I do.
Okay, I didn't realize that. You look like kind of a larger man, but it must shape down to a very small ass. Let's move on to the other witness, Andrea, who's the defense witness. Andrea, can you tell us how do you know Maddie?
Oh, actually, we are business partners. We have this funeral home for pets. It's you know, it's very successful, even if lately, you know, because of the pandemic and a few minor mistakes, things are a little bit up and down, and
has there ever been a cat? Have you ever had to put a cat down at the funeral home?
Yeah, of course, many.
Has there been any recent cats, like within the last, say, week?
You know, not really. Actually, only one. There was like this cat, Roxy. They wanted. I mean, it's an odd request for a cat. You know, they want me. I'm the embalmer, and they wanted me to embalm Roxy. That was, oh my God, quite a day, because I called Maddie. I couldn't find the corpse in our funeral home, and she told me that by mistake she cremated Roxy. So that was such a bad day. So we didn't have the cat to embalm. We weren't ready for the funeral.
Okay. So the cat was dead. Roxy was dead when he came in.
Yeah.
And then you You cremated the cat. Okay, I understand.
Not me. It was Maddie. It was Maddie. She's,
Maddie.
sometimes she gets confused. Like, yeah, I was on the phone with her while she was, babysitting that cat. What was its name? Like Mr. Whiskers. Like she was playing with the laser. She told me a lot of stories. So, and
can you describe it all? Can you describe any part of the cat what color was the cat?
Oh, it was white. A white cat. Yeah.
Okay. Let me go back up to Shelley. What was the color of your cat, Shelley?
It was black, but it thought it was white. It thought it.
Okay.
It was.
Did it look white or black?
Diversity and inclusion, and it didn't see color.
Okay. All right. So it saw itself as a white cat.
Uh-huh.
It was a non-binary white cat.
It was a non-binary
not a black cat.
White cat. It really didn't see color. She didn't see color.
Good. So
okay. Well, a lot of animals are colorblind too.
Yeah.
So okay, but let me ask, Andrea, did you see this cat, this black cat who thinks it's white, run out of the house?
No. Not at all, especially because, Maddie and we were so busy with this, business thing about Roxy. So we needed to go for errands, buy some paint and all, all things we need for.
Okay, I think I'm ready to rule on the case. Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, I'm ready to rule on this case. It seems to me that Maddie, who went to watch Shelley's cat, did run out of the house because of the lack of batteries for the laser pointer. And since Halloween's coming up, and ironically, James, who did not like that cat, in fact, that cat actually had a cat fight with his cat and killed it. And so James, when he saw that black cat run out, which is why he didn't get the laser batteries, because he knew that the cat freaks out and must get outside if there's no laser. And you knew that, James. You snagged the cat, and now you're trying to sell it to a haunted house for Halloween because it's black, even though it thinks it's white. You want to come clean, James?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding at all.
Is this anywhere close to the truth? I mean, I thought that you were the honorable Judge Kent Scove, not the Kent Scove from Planet Lunacy.
No, we had videotape from one of the poles on your street seeing you grab the cat when it ran out of the house, put it into a van, and head down to a haunted house that you were decorating for Halloween. And we have now retrieved the cat for you, Shelley. And of course, we have your cat, and we also have James getting out of the van with pictures of him selling your cat to the haunted house for $325. So James, you're going to not only have to give her the $325 back, James, you're going to be going to cat prison. We're going to put you in a pound now. Yes, it's coming down. The hammer and sickle's coming down on you, James. We're bringing over someone to pick you up in a van and bring you down to the cat prison. Shelley will be dropping off your cat. And by the way, Maddie and Andrea, we're aware of your devil worship thing going on at the funeral home. We're going to be sending somebody down to look at your devil worshiping as well. So everybody, Shelley, you're fine, clean, and clear. Everybody else, you're in deep shit. This case is closed.
I would have gotten away with it too, Kent Scove, if it weren't for you in this meddling courtroom.
He thinks he's like.
Well, I feel so good about myself now. Okay, well, let's move on to my movie. I'm sorry to have ruined James' life. Okay, so my movie is going to have... James, you get to come back. You can, you can regroup now. Okay, we got Chris, Alec, and James. My movie. What I do is I'm going to give them two initials. So, for example, like AB or CD or whatever I give them, and they have to make a title of a movie and then a brief description of the movie. Then the other two actors will act it out. So we'll start with Chris. Chris, it is AB. So give us a AB, the movie. Unmute, Chris.
A bra.
AB.
A bra.
A bra. Okay, and can you give us a description of the movie A Bra that will star James and Alex?
Alex is missing a bra, and she thinks James has taken it and wears it.
Okay, let's take a look at that scene right now with the two of them. When we spotlight them, if we could. Beautiful. James and Alex. Okay. Here's your scene.
Hey, babe. Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but I'm actually missing my underwire bra. You know, the red one with the white flowers on it.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
I don't think so. Sorry.
Okay, now this is really awkward. I actually know. I know the truth.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen evidence, but I know. James.
Okay. How would you know this thing that you have literally no proof of?
I'm putting, you know, two and two together. It's missing only when you were here, and then like after you left, like, well, like, when you were here and I had it, and then, you know, stuff happened, and then it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah. So, I mean, isn't there a chance that you just misplaced this bra?
No. You've seen my room. You know how clean it is, and you know, I organized.
Well, what we were doing not too long ago wasn't exactly clean, was it?
So
yeah, that's a good ending line there.
Like,
This movie turned into animated porn. They turned it into an animated porn movie. It's a real big hit, especially amongst men who are into anime. Okay, let's go on. James, come on back out here because we're going to put James and Chris, just switch spots with those two, because now, James, you're going to be doing the letters and tell us the title of the movie and the little description setting up Chris and Alex. And it's CD.
Chris's disc.
Chris's disc. Okay, can you give us a description of that movie?
There is a person named Chris who refuses to go to MP3s because he loves his CD collection, and he is absolutely adamant that CDs are going to make a comeback.
Okay, wonderful. Let's spotlight the two of them, Chris and Alex, and watch them about this scene about Chris's discs.
So it's like a vintage thing, like you're collecting to sell them.
They're coming back. What are you talking about? CDs are going to make a big thing back. It's going to be all the
VHSs. Chris, nah.
Oh, yeah. Way better than 8-track. Better than LP.
You're just going backwards now, Chris.
No,
I mean, look at this. Look at this.
Pausing.
It has everything I need. Look, I can open Spotify, Apple Music.
And then it freezes. Or, hey, what if you don't want to? What if you don't want the world knowing what you're listening to? What if only you want to know what you're listening to?
I mean,
instead of who's watching you listen on your phone. You're being watched on that, and I listen to what I want to watch or listen to whenever I want to, and nobody knows it.
Chris, come on. Like, okay. I mean, I guess I can kind of see the appeal, you know, if you have an old car that has a CD player, but get with the times, my guy.
They are the times. They're not going away.
Well, they turned this into a documentary about Chris. Geraldo Rivero was the host of the new documentary, and they opened up his vault to find out there was nothing in it. Okay, so now, Alex, you'll be the one doing the titles for us, so if we can put Alex up there at the top. And here is your letters, Alex. PT, the title of the movie, and a description.
PT is for physical therapy. It's about a baseball player who he's actually seeing a psychiatrist for his missing swing. He can't hit the ball. And so there's Chris, the baseball player, who goes to see his therapist, James.
Well, let's spotlight those two right now in a wonderful scene about physical therapy and the baseball team.
So how do your mechanics feel now that you are recovering from this very traumatic elbow fracture?
I'm emotionally limp. I can't get the swing for the team. It's horrible.
Well, have you been to the batting cages recently? Have you been to any kind of the team practice? I mean, I know it was broken in 50 places and it took 300 plus hours of surgery and 24 doctors, but
I go. I can't do anything, but I go. I want to do something, but my arm's never going to be better. My elbow's basically gone.
I'm starting to believe that it's gone beyond the physical and more into the psychological. How do you feel about your baseball swing when do you think about it? Do you dream about it? What are your thoughts and feelings on this issue?
Nightmares every morning, knowing I won't be able to play again, or thinking I had a dream of when it was shattered, repeated.
You might be suffering from PTED, which is post-traumatic elbow disorder. You might have a fear of elbows.
Yes, and so that's why the Health Channel picked this up. It's a new network. It's only got about 4 subscribers. This is the new Health Channel, and Chris is going to be working with his elbow. Hey, thank you all for playing my movie. That was quite good. Now I'm going to have the whole cast come out here for 1 second because we're going to have to make a decision, and I want to let them decide on what one of the 2 games they want to play. So we're going to go into conclusions next, and then we can end with either superstitions or conspiracy theory. So how many would like to do the conspiracy theory? Raise your hand. And how many would you like to do superstition? Superstition, raise your hand. Okay, so yes, you can only do one or the other. So one more time, conspiracy theories, raise your hand. 1, 2. That means we'll be doing superstitions, I guess. Okay, so superstitions will end our show. All right, so I can have everybody minimized, but Shelley and Andrea. And have you ever met anybody who just draws conclusions all the time about everything you do? They just kind of misunderstand. Well, Shelley's one of those types of people. And Andrea is her friend who hasn't run into her in a long time. He's finally going to run into her at the mall. Yes, some malls are actually opening back up again. So you're going to run into your friend who you hadn't seen in almost 2 years because of the COVID. You couldn't go to these malls. And now the malls are open. You run into Shelley, and this is Shelley drawing conclusions in a very weird way.
Shelley? Wow, it's been 2 years. Whoa.
Oh,
Oh,
Andrea.
yeah, it was like last time before the pandemic, and then you're here again. Oh, I couldn't believe it.
You're saying that I can't find somewhere to live, so I have to live here in the mall because of the pandemic?
No, I don't mean that. No, absolutely. You're fine. I even see you lost weight. You look beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, because I was fat before? Is that what you're saying? I was ugly before, so you think I have to have plastic surgery? On my...
You were great before. Just, I love your outfit. I love that, what is that, light purple? I love it. I love your outfit. You're great.
Oh.
Great.
So what you're saying is I don't look good in any other colors, and this is the only color that I look good in, and then I had to steal this from one of these stores in the mall? That's what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
No. I don't think you need to steal. Like you are very skilled. You had a wonderful job last time. You were talking. A few problems with your boss, but I'm sure you're doing great.
Oh,
that's great, man.
The job that I was fired from, the one where they literally kicked me in the butt through a plate glass window, that job. Thanks for bringing it up. I think that's what you're saying is that I can't hold a job because I'm a freak show and I like to climb the walls and spray paint them. Is that what you're saying?
No. I love you being like an athlete and your passion for climbing, that makes you even sexier. That's what I meant. You are absolutely great. You're my hero.
Oh, so I wasn't sexy before? That's what you're saying? And the only reason why I'm sexy now is because of my athleticism. And that's because I have to run away from the voices in my head. Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying.
No. I think this is your head. I think that your head is pretty quiet and that you are a very, grounded person. Absolutely. I'm sure about that. Yeah.
Oh, so I think what I hear you saying is that because I have a brother who went and lived over the ocean, on the other side of the ocean, because he couldn't stand me, because he didn't like the way that I smelled or cleaned up our bathroom. So that's what you're saying, that I have a brother who doesn't love me?
No. He loves you. Like I'm sure James loves you so much. Like he just traveled on the other side of the world just because to follow his passion about soccer. And you are both athlete in your in your house, and absolutely. So what are you doing here at the mall? Like, are you working here now?
I'm certainly not playing soccer here. So what you're saying is that because I couldn't become a soccer star like my brother overseas, that all I'm good for is to walk the mall and bring drinks and cold drinks for the other mall walkers. Is that what you're saying? That's all. That's all I'm good for.
Wow.
Especially because
listen, Andrea, you got yourself in a big bag of trouble there, Andrea. Nice try. Boy, Shelley, I hope I never run into you. You're nuts. Okay, so let's bring out all the rest of the people. For superstitions, our closing piece. Now, I've got everybody on a Zoom call right now, so they all enter my meeting because of COVID. We couldn't actually bring them into my office. And what I try and do is I deal with people's superstitions. Now, I don't try and change their mind if they have the superstition. I just try to understand where it came from and how it's affected and helped their life. Because a lot of times it's about bad luck and good luck. So all these superstitions, they think, help them to have good luck. Is that what I'm assuming? So let's start out with this time with Alex. And Alex, so you have to sleep with one eye open.
Always. I always have to sleep with one eye open. I'd be stupid not to. I never know what could happen. Sometimes I transition between left and right eye, depending on what side I'm sleeping on. My brain just knows. But yeah.
Was there some trauma that caused this? I mean, did something happen to you when both your eyes were shut?
Yeah. My brother is a chronic sleepwalker. Growing up, he went into my room and thinking that it was his room, and he ended up actually like sitting on top of me, and he put the pillow over my head and laid on it. And I could have died.
Wow. Okay. So how old were you when this happened?
That I was, I was still living with my parents. So I was 25.
25. Okay. So this is just a recent thing because you don't look that much older than 25. You've only been doing.
It's surgery. I'm 37 now.
Okay. So for 12 years, you've been keeping one eye open.
Yeah.
And you actually you're semi-awake. You never really totally sleep.
Yes and no. Doctors say it's a part of the sleep cycle, but just not fully in that REM sleep. So it's I can't dream, which is probably a good thing. But I don't really fall asleep. So yeah, I'm half asleep, half awake. Part of the brain.
Okay, so since you've kept one eye open, nothing's bad has happened to you, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And nothing will, because I'll see it before it happens.
Well, thank you, Alex. Okay, I'm going to move over to Chris now. So Chris, yours is you have to eat all your food groups separately. So you have to eat peas, I'm not in whatever order, then potatoes, and then your meat. But you can't mix them ever, and you're so OCD, you keep them all separated on the plate so they can't even touch each other. So when did this start?
Well, this started when I was a kid. before I even knew
Okay.
the difference between the four meat groups or the food groups. You know, I mean, I just didn't want it to touch at all.
Mm-hmm.
And school didn't help because, they did help me because they had the trays that separated everything. So you just kind of get used to it and want it.
Well, your mother used to have to pack like 4 or 5 different bags so that each bag would have only what correlated to cookies or chips or fruit or your sandwich or your liquid.
She would have to bring it in sometimes in 2 loads. She'd bring it to school for me.
Really? Okay. So you probably like the old Swanson's TV dinners because they come separated into their little categories.
I do, but if you overcook them by 20 seconds, they just bubble over and do each other, and you gotta throw them away.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to tell you that.
Back in those days, we had to put them back in ovens. They didn't have microwave ovens. We had to heat them up. So it's completely different. Now, what happens to you? Have you, like, let's say a peas gets mixed in with one of your potatoes. Give me an example of something bad that happened to you.
A mirror would break, and then I would have 7 more years of bad luck. Like, it trickles down. Like, one thing leads to the next thing. It's horrible. It's horrible. Like, I would walk into a wall or something stupid.
Wow.
Just because I can't.
Okay.
No, I can't mix. No, I'm not going to try it.
Okay, so it's not a nutritional thing. It's actually a superstition that you do not want to mix any of your food. Okay.
Well, because it's happened before.
Okay, I got it. Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. I'm going to move over to James right now. James, you shower before you work out, which is weird. Most people will do the workout, then go shower, but you actually like to be clean for your workout, and then you stink for the rest of the day. How did this come about?
It's really an ancient tradition. This goes all the way back to the Greeks and even before then, the early Mycenaean period. The gymnasiums were where people would work out naked, actually, and I would make sure that I would get good and clean before either hitting the cardio or doing the weight room. And I would be also, like the ancients, completely naked, and I would be sweaty for the rest of the day. And I don't know why, but apparently I've been arrested a couple times for indecent exposure, and it's a Class 2 felony.
Mm-hmm. How's that help your dating life? You know, like you go work out, I'm sure your body looks fantastic, but you stink because you work out and then start going out on dates?
Actually, it's scientifically proven to be beneficial, and this has actually been in popular science. You know, pheromones work this way through scent and musk, and they call it odor. But that's a bit of a dirty word that I'm just not really on board with. And eventually people will become so aware and woke about that they will just allow the natural human scent to take place. And that's really the most attractive and masculine, I feel, feature about me, is that I will allow that to take hold. No deodorant for me.
Okay. Well, thank you, James. I appreciate you coming into our meeting today. Let's move on now to Shelley. So, Shelley, you never look in the mirror.
Oh, I don't. Oh, absolutely not.
What happened there with that? What's the superstition come from?
I used to work in a dance studio, and there was an entire wall of mirrors there. And one day I was looking in the mirror, and I saw a shadow kind of nearby me, and it was frightening. And now I am sure that if I look in the mirror, there will be ghosts behind me, and I don't know if they're friendly, but I cover them whenever I can. If I have to do this, if I have to walk by it, that's fine. I'm gonna have, it's difficult when I'm doing my makeup, but it's just what we got to do. Safety.
Wow.
Safety first.
That's crazy. So, you don't look in like car mirrors either? I mean, to see who's behind you or be on the side of you?
I go by just sense alone. I feel like I can feel the cars around me. It's not always successful, but no ghosts, no ghosts.
Okay.
So that's a trade-off.
All right. Well, thank you, Shelley. I'm going to move over to Andrea now.
Thank you.
Andrea,
Thank you.
so you nail all your windows shut. How'd this superstition happen? Yeah, where'd this come from?
Actually, I read that this is an African tradition. I read this book and I was really shocked. It was about 15 years ago. And I read these terrible facts that happened to people that didn't nail the window shut. So since then, I didn't even go out, really. I stay home and try to attract good luck, because I read that you have 33 years of bad luck when you don't do it. So since I started only 15 years ago, I'm still waiting, the difference to have finally, eventually, my good luck. So
well, now wait a minute. Did you say you never go outside?
No, ever. I just,
Okay.
I just scroll. I have, food delivery. I have, anything I need. Like, what's the point in going out? Just to have bad luck.
So you don't have a problem with doors opening. You just don't want to have windows opening.
Yeah, of course. It's the windows. Unless, a door open to outside. It's an outside door that you shouldn't ever, ever, ever open. But, the door that opens on the lobby or, and then within the building, that's okay. That's fine.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
well, thank you, Andrea. I'm going to end with Maddie. Maddie, I understand you just completely shift your meals around. You start with dinner and then go to lunch and then end your day with breakfast. Now, how did that get going?
Every day. Since the first day that that spring came, it runs on the rise and fall of spring every year. It's a very old tradition that was founded by a lot of the pilgrims. Actually, a lot of people think, Thanksgiving is the pilgrims' major holiday, but it's actually the coming of spring. And they would celebrate by having our meals at different times of the day to, I guess, rejuvenate the internal workings of your intestines and digestive system.
Oh. Now, this only happens in the spring, or does it just start in the spring and then you do it all? So it's only the spring. The other seasons you can eat any way you want.
It's only the spring, yes. So this is only a spring.
Okay.
And it helps when you all eat together in one setting. We sit around in a circle and we feed each other. It's one of our more intimate traditions. I won't go into the other seasons; they're a little more explicit. But this one is a little more PG for the families,
Wonderful. Well, listen, I appreciate you all coming on to my show, Superstitions, and I'll have you back again because I'm sure more people want to hear more about each and every one of your superstitions. But we've run out of time today. And I want to thank everybody for coming on. I want to thank everybody at home for watching, because that's our show. So give these guys a hand. Good job, you guys. Let's give it up for Alex.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Chris.
Thanks for watching.
James.
Thank you very much for having me aboard.
Shelley.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
Andrea.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Maddie.
Drive safe. Thank you, everyone.
And again, I'm Ken Scove. You've been watching the LA Connection. We'll see you in 4 weeks with the same cast. Mark your calendars. They usually go up at 5:30, but we say 5 p.m. on our YouTube channel.